Now I would like to request Mr. Ashish Dudani to come and share his experience with us. Mr. Ashish Dudani did his mechanical engineering from Delhi College of Engineering and then went to pursue his master's degree in management from the London School of Economics. He co-founded a successful recruitment consulting firm in 2006 and has also worked as a consultant in a variety of other sectors. He was a part of the core team at Designed Asia Pacific First 100, an occasional writer. His poems has been published in various books. Ashish is also engaged in consideration of Indian industries as a part of the wide Next Practices group to bring social innovations at the national stage. Ladies and gentlemen, can I have a huge round of applause for Mr. Ashish Dudani?
Well, let me just start by saying that my presentation is not going to be as exciting as that. So you'll have to be a little more patient. The lady here gave a brief introduction. I might be at the verge of repeating it, but I'm a graduate from mechanical engineering from DCE. That was back in 2007. I went for a one-year master's in management at the London School of Economics. Came back, joined at Tata Teleservices as the youngest business assistant. And now I'm headed for an MBA program. I have options from Tuck, Kellogg, and ISP. So what I've just talked about is essentially the facts, okay? And that's all they are. What is important is actually the story behind these facts. Why did I actually choose? Why did I make the decisions that I did make? And I think that's the question that I want to answer for you guys today. Let me start with college, okay? So when I was in my final year of college, and this might actually be true for a lot of you here, I had pretty much three major options. One, I could actually join an established technical firm, okay? And by that I mean maybe the likes of Fidelity or Infosys or so on. Anything related to mechanical engineering. But then I started evaluating the pros and cons, okay? And as a matter of fact, I couldn't find any pros. So I've just written down the cons here. And I figured out essentially that what I'm venturing into, if I do take that option, first of all, I'll be getting in at very low salaries, okay? Maybe 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 8 lakhs. Do I want to be there at the start of my career? Maybe not. And even if I get there, okay, what is the growth that I'm looking at? And I'll ask you guys to do a Google search today. Go and check for the growth pattern, the career growth of some of the technical guys. Okay? And it takes ages. Okay? Take for example L&D. It might take you 15 years to become a project manager. And that's enormous. That's not even close to being a CEO. So I didn't want that. I wanted to grow fast. And finally, my dissuading interest. You know, when I looked at what exactly is it that I want to do in life, I wanted to know how I can run the entire supply chain. I wanted to call the shots in marketing and operations. I wanted to really design the corporate strategy. I really wanted to figure out how the HR strategy can be turned around. And technicals as well, but technicals is just one part of it, right? It's not the whole game. And that's why I decided against this, because this is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do much more than that. So that brings to me the second option. So then again, I looked at the pros and cons here, you know, which is, what am I getting here? Low salaries again, not something that I'm excited about. What about stability, okay? Where do I see myself 6 months down the line? Would the firm even exist 6 months down the line, right? I don't know. And even if I make a switch to the larger ones, you know, trust me, it is either going to be a huge cut in salary, and in most cases, they won't even accept you. And finally, no brand. And that's a huge thing. You know, try applying to any B school after that, or even an MS course. You'll have a hard time. Okay, you need a brand to back it up. And despite the fact that I'm from DC, which is considered to be a reasonably good college, you're not from an IIT, right? And it makes a huge difference. So then I came down to my final option, which is, can I actually go for a higher education outside India? And what was it giving me really? Okay, it was actually giving me, number one, the brand. As I said, BCE is good in India. No one knows about it in the US. Second is international exposure. I've lived, and I believe a lot of you here, we've pretty much lived all our lives in India. Okay? We're accustomed to a certain set of education standards, the way we learn. It's a rote form of learning we're acquainted to. This international exposure is important in order to broaden your horizons to the greatest extent. And it's extremely important, I must say. And third is network. Okay? It's important for you to know people from different parts of the world. Today, if you ask me, I might be having people, friends, from every different country in the world, from different backgrounds. And I know that if 5 years down the line, which I want to do, if I want to start my own business, I know I can actually give them a call, take advice from them. If I want to enter new markets, if I want a person from a particular field helping me out, they all will be there, right? So it's a network that makes a huge difference again. So certainly, if I looked at all these things, the clear option for me was going ahead with a master's degree. So how was LSE? Right, so once I made the choice, how was really LSE for me? And as the note here says, it was truly an unforgettable experience. I landed in the city of London, and the first thing that excited me, just at the railway station, or at the tube station rather itself, was actually the different kind of people who were living there. I mean, it's amazing that you see Indians and Pakistanis and Canadians and Americans and lesser British, I would say. So it's amazing how many different varieties of people you could actually see in that one stop at the tube station. So truly, the cosmopolitan of the city is something amazing. I mean, you'll be surprised to know that Chani, chicken tikka masala is actually the national dish of UK. Second, the expanse of knowledge. Right? When I met the professors there, it was fantabulous, I would say, in terms of the kind of expertise, the real knowledge that they really brought to the table. Okay? It wasn't all about, okay, this is the book for you, learn it in the evening, and tomorrow you'll have a test on it. That's not the way it was. They want to provoke you. They want to provoke your thoughts. They want you to link the dots, not just for your own life, but also for industries and the sectors that you might be interested in. And these are important factors, because at the end of the day, when you get into a real job, that's what you're supposed to do. It's not about how much your GPAs are, it's about what you can really contribute to your firm. And the resources. Okay? Think about the fact that you have guest lectures, Nobel laureates coming in, giving lectures. You have CEOs and CMOs, you have study groups in which different people from different backgrounds come together and discuss things. It's amazing the kind of resources that exist. Okay? And I think, unfortunately in India, because we're still evolving our education system, it's not certainly there. It's not something which exists in India. Practical application. So you learn something, you haven't done justice to your learning unless and until you actually apply them to practicality. Okay? That's why I say by case studies. When you're sitting in a brunch with a bunch of some 15 guys from different parts of the world, each of them expressing their own opinion, it is a learning of a different form. And as Akshat said, as Rajiv also said, it is not just about the learning that you get from the classes. It's about the people around you that teach you the most. Then this link with the industry, okay? And unfortunately in India, we still have a system wherein education is pretty much separate from the industry, right? So it's only when we enter a firm, that's when we get to know, okay, fine, this is what we're supposed to do, right? That's not how it works there. I was surprised, and I was in my master's there, and I was surprised. I met some guy from the first year in undergraduation, and the guy came up to me and he's like, well, I want to get into Goldman Sachs for 3 years, do leverage buyouts there, then I want to get into private equity, and then I want to change the face of retail industry maybe in UK. And I was surprised at the kind of clarity that these guys had. I mean, who would have that kind of a clarity when you're actually just in the first year of your college? I did not have it. I certainly did not. So it's that kind of an exposure that you get through the industry links. which you really do not get in India. Student diversity. And I would just like to make one point here. I have 5 really close friends. One of them is an actress from Pakistan. I mean, think about how many actors from Pakistan do you really know? Another one is a person from Dubai. She's running a chain of subway outlets there and doing it very successfully. Third one is a Brazilian who's joined EGE. Fourth is a Canadian guy who taught me how to have a lot of beer. It's not something you would want to do probably, but yes. So I'm saying, essentially these are the people that really taught me much more than what I could learn in India. And I think student diversity therefore makes a huge difference. And a lifetime of relationships. As I talked about it earlier, you develop relationships that will stay with you forever. Well, life after LSE. Okay, I must start by saying that 1st of September 2008 is when I graduated. 14th September 2008 is when Lehman Brothers had crashed. And the world came tumbling down in a way. Despite that, and all the fear that we all carry that we're not going to get jobs after graduation and this and that, trust me, there were enough avenues for me, be it in UK or be it in India. Okay. Good guys, well-qualified guys are always wanted. They're always in need. Right? So when I came back to India, despite the fact that a lot of companies had a hiring freeze, I still had my options. I got appointed in Tata Services. I worked for 6 months with McKinsey there. Then I went on to work, or lead rather, a set of service initiatives in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Came back, got appointed as the youngest business assistant to the president of operations. And I'll just tell you the profile of a guy who was actually working as a business assistant earlier. He was an IIM Calcutta guy, worked in Tata Administrative Services for 3 years, 2 years in, then after that 2 years in investment banking in JP Morgan, then he came back into this role. So imagine the same kind of experience that I'm getting at this young age. And it was again fascinating. And the only thing that mattered was the fact that I had an LSE brand with me. So people were willing to bestow that kind of trust, that kind of faith, that if this guy might be able to deliver. And now I'm off for an Ivy League MBA. Okay? And I would say that it has all been possible, not because of the VC factor or anything, but because of the brand which I got from LSE, the exposure that I got from LSE, and more importantly, the work experience that came along with it. Right? I'm sure that I wouldn't have been appointed as a business assistant had I not had the LSE brand. So this is essentially how it's been for me, guys. This is how my story has been. And these are the reasons essentially why I chose what I really chose. So what was the role of a consultant in all this? And I'll be very candid with you guys. When I went to LSE, I did not have a consultant. Okay? And I would say that was unfortunate, because at that very time I had an offer from Oxford for a finance and economics course. But unfortunately, I thought that maybe London and the city is going to be exciting and maybe management makes more sense. I took that choice. But today I realized that maybe Oxford choice was better. I'm not saying LSE was a bad option, but Oxford could have been better. So that was the mistake that I made, right? And I believe that if today I'm given a choice, I might actually want to go back to Oxford. That's where the consultant comes into the picture, guys. Today I'm going for an MBA, okay? And I made sure that I do not miss out on that. So the first thing that I did was actually contact Mr. Gupta, ask him for advice, understand what is it that it really takes, what should be my strategy, what are the courses that I should apply to, what are the colleges that I should go into, what are the SOPs, what are the essays that I should write, how I should write them. Okay, so leave aside the first point, the choice of course and the college strategy. Consultants are too good at that. Okay, they would know in and out about a company, about a college, which despite all the research that you can do on the internet, you can never figure it out. Because every college talks about diversity, every college talks about how good they are, every college talks about everything that you would like to hear. But that's not what the reality is. The reality is something which a consultant can tell you. But I think the game changer here, and as I've written it, is actually the essays. Okay? And all of us stressed on the essays here. right? Why is it really a game changer? Why do these schools really ask for it? Let me point out to critical things here. Number one is the fact that as a person, what you've made of yourself today, be it your extracurriculars, be it your college degree, be it your work experience, be it your community service, or anything that you've done, all that is done, right? You can't change that much. What you can actually change is the content in your essays, the story that you have to bring to the table. That's what the B schools are looking for. They want to know what is the story that you bring. It's not all about facts. If they just wanted the facts, they would have taken your SOP and selected it. They want to know what is the difference that you're going to bring to the table, what is the story that you carry. And that's what the essays are supposed to tell you and tell them. So when I went to Mr. Gupta, I asked him, so how are my essays, sir? And despite the fact that I had all the LSE experience and everything, his first reaction was, it's a piece of crap. Right? So I asked him why. And he's like, because it just does not deal with the depth of analysis that the schools might be looking for. You're just talking about the facts. You need to get into the details. You need to analyze your essays. It's not a piece of factual information. It has to be analysis-based. It has to be depth. It has to carry depth. And today, because of his help, I must say, I'm actually on the path of maybe getting into a Kellogg or a Duck, a decision that I'm still, yet to make. And finally, financial aid. We all need money, guys, and it's extremely important, right? We don't have the time to look into every scholarship which is there on the website. We don't even know which ones we might actually get into, right? There are so many other scholarships that are offered by different people, different communities, different corporates within India, which we'll have no idea about. And all it takes is just a click of a button and say that, okay, this is what my life has been, and I want to be in this school, and you might actually get a response from them. Imagine just spending a few rupees here and getting a scholarship which might be 50% worth in that course. And that can be a real game changer, right? I had a 50% score when I went to LSE. But trust me, I had to work really very hard for it, okay? And I got it, at the end of the day, I just got it from LSE. I knew that if I could have tried at other places, I would have got it from there as well. But I had no idea about it. Today, when I'm looking at an MBA, although it's much more difficult, but I'm quite sure that maybe with the help of Mr. Gupta and so on, I can actually crack at least one of the scholarships. So we all need money, and money can come by. It's just about knowing where to apply and how to apply. And that's what the consultants do. So in all this, guys, I'm not trying to sell EGE world to you at all. I'm not, frankly, I'm standing here, I'm not even getting paid for it. But the reason why I'm here is just because when Mr. Gupta told me that we have a different concept, which not a lot of consultants offer here today, I was excited by it. I thought that maybe I can actually come here, even if I can make a difference in the lives of, let's say, 5, 10 people, that's enough for me, right? And that's exactly the reason why I'm here.